The House of Squibb presents Academy Award. Bring you the dramatic picture, The Keys of the Kingdom, which was nominated in 5 different classifications for the 1945 Academy Award. Our star tonight is the distinguished actor Gregory Peck. Mr. Peck will play the famous role he created on the screen for The Keys of the Kingdom, and in which he was nominated as Best Actor of the Year for the 1945 Academy Award.
This is the story of a man who served God in the way in which God wishes to be served, with humility. Of necessity, this is a short story of a long, full life, a vision into the heart of a priest swiftly blurring. In the eyes of God, this man might be a saint. In the eye of the church, memory of his works might not survive his modest epitaph, but in the hearts of some men, there was the certainty that he had received the keys to the kingdom of heaven. On a September evening in 1938, old Father Francis Chisholm welcomed a guest to the parish house of his little church near Tweedside in Scotland. This guest was Monsignor Sleep, and his visit was occasioned by church business to investigate certain odd irregularities in the administration of Father Chisholm's parish. To the Monsignor, it was a foregone conclusion that this old priest would be removed.
Well, Father Chisholm, naturally I don't presume to be your judge. I can only submit my findings to His Grace the Bishop for his consideration in reaching a final decision. And now, if you don't mind, I will go to my room. I shall be leaving the first thing tomorrow morning, and I have still some work to do.
Would you be good enough to remind Angus, I mean His Grace, in your report that we were boys together?
The bishop has not forgotten that, Father. He spoke of it only last week.
Well, mention it to him again, will you?
Of course.
I shouldn't like to leave here if it could be helped.
Naturally. Good night, Father.
This is my native parish, you know.
Good night.
Monsignor Sleep finished his report early that night, but found himself sleepless. Near his bed was a shelf of books and magazines. To relax, he sought to read, and idly his hand found a worn leather notebook, a journal of the years of Father Chisholm. Sleep forgotten, he read on through the night.
It would be pleasurable to record that I became an immediate success as a priest following my ordination. Alas, the facts were quite otherwise. I failed dismally in my first 2 curacies. There seemed to be little promise of success in my next, or ever for that matter, when one day there came a summons from the new bishop and my guardian angel of old, Hamish McNabb.
Francis, to me you've never been a failure, and I think you never will be.
Oh, thank you, sir.
But don't ask me why. I'm sure I couldn't say. But I haven't been able to take my eyes off you. And I can't help thinking that you're in the church. Not by chance, but for a reason. I don't want you ever to change. You understand, of course, that I say these nice things to you because I want you to do something for me.
Well, you've made it impossible for me to say anything but yes, your lordship.
Francis, the Society for the Propagation of the Faith has asked me to supply a volunteer missionary for China.
China?
Will you go?
Why, I'll be happy to go, Your Lordship.
I knew you would. And you'll be a credit to both of us. Come to see me again before you leave. We'll pray for you. Oh, wait. It's still raining. Here, take my precious umbrella. Take this with you, lad. It's a good thing to have. You never know when it's going to rain.
Knowing the greatness and glory of China today, it's difficult as I think back to picture what awaited me upon my arrival. After 10 days and 10 nights up the Tawang River in the province of Chekau, 1,000 miles from the sea, I found my mission, the blackened, ruined foundations. There were no converts, nothing but filth, starvation, and enmity. But in time, word of my presence spread, and from the hills came a few of the old converts to help me. Of these, one was a young Chinese boy who walked 18 miles to join me and help me rebuild the mission. His name was Joseph. He was a gift from God, a pillar of strength on whom I leaned. One day I heard his cart and then his cries for me to come out.
Father Chisholm! Father Chisholm, it's for you! It's for you! It arrived on the boat.
What is it, Joseph?
Medicine.
Medicine? Here, let me see what's in that crate. Gauze bandages. Iodine.
Castor oil. Is it to rub on, Father?
Oh, no. It's to drink. Look at this, a leather case of surgical instruments. Joseph, put that down. Don't drink that castor oil.
Not bad. Have some, Father?
No, thank you. No, I'm not thirsty.
All these wonderful things. Such a treasure. Surely, Father, an angel in heaven must have sent it.
That's just what I was thinking, Joseph. Here's a letter. Your Holiness, it's amazing how religious you can make a man feel by fixing his bellyache. I'm sending you all of my secrets in the book of instructions. Cure what you can and kill what you can't. Signed, Willie Tulloch, M.D. and Heathen. P.S. For practicing without a license, I shall, of course, report you to the British Medical Society, the Pope, and my Chinese laundryman, Willie.
Father Chisholm, look. We are indeed blessed. The servant of the Mandarin.
Please pardon my intrusion. I am here at the bidding of my